Hello, good people. Welcome to our show, Coaching with Cadillac and Bonita. I'm Elijah Cadillac Harris.
And I'm Bonita Billingsley Harris. And my husband was a longtime football coach and educator in Hampton Roads, and I am a longtime media and communications person. And so we just wanted to put our skills together to do what we care about most, young people.
Absolutely. We want to give young people solutions and to be able to navigate themselves from whatever level they are, middle school, high school, to the collegiate level.
That's right. And you often talk about how we have the best athletes in the country right here in
Right
Hampton
here in
Roads.
Hampton Roads, for sure.
And
For sure.
sometimes they just don't know what it takes to get to that next level.
And today, we're going to give them some nuggets on how to do that.
We have a wonderful guest for you here today. We would like to introduce Elizabeth Allen, one of our longtime friends, and also business and marketing and fundraising expert,
Thank you.
and especially when it comes to education and athletes. So
That's right.
Very happy to be here.
welcome.
Always with you guys.
Thank you. So Liz, we've been friends for a long time. Sometimes we'll go through phases where we see each other every day,
Yep.
and other times it might be months, but we always pick up where we left off.
Absolutely. It's like no time goes by. We just, life happens and it happens to everybody and you just go with it.
That's right.
And it's just so nice to have friends that even though I don't talk to you all the time, you're in my
Yes,
heart
that's
and my
right.
mind
Yeah.
and
And you're in
anytime we can
ours.
see each other, we take that opportunity.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So this is especially special because we've never seen each other like this before.
No,
Yeah.
this is definitely different.
But we're grateful to have you and wondering if we could start off with you telling everyone how we met.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. My son Brandon didn't start playing football until 8th grade. And he came home so excited. It was towards the end of the school year and summer was getting started. And he was going to be a freshman in high school. And he came home so excited because the head football coach at Indian River had gone over there and asked him to make sure he came out for conditioning over the summer. And so he did. And he ended up also staying for the overnight camp because practice started in August. And because of practice and everything and being up there, obviously, as a parent, you go up, you bring them, whatever they need and everything. And I kept hearing about this Coach Harris and a Coach Cadillac. And I was like, okay, Coach Harris. And both were being said as the head football coach. I'm like, I'm really confused here.
Which one is it?
And come to find out, Coach Harris is Coach Cadillac and one and the same. So that got straightened out. One of the milestones or one of the significant things that I think Brandon would tell you, and I did run this by him
Right.
to be able to tell you this. It was his first year and it was at the summer camp. And his strap had broken on some of his equipment. So he was late getting out to the practice field. So I purposely did not go up to camp for 2 days. And on the third day, I was going to go up and get his dirty laundry and bring his clean
Right.
clothes to him and stuff. So I get to the school and I'm looking around and I'm not finding him. I'm like, where's my kid?
Right.
And Coach Asprey came up to me and he goes, can I help you? And I said, yeah. I said, I'm looking for my son, Brandon Allen. He goes, Brandon Allen? He goes, oh. He said, he had a little extra conditioning, but he should be in just a few minutes. I'm like, okay, extra conditioning, that doesn't sound very good. So anyway, I waited a little while, and sure enough, he was sitting at a table, and he had his head down. He was just kind of playing with his food. And I walk up to him and said, hey, how's it going? He looked at me and goes, Mom, I'm not sure this is for me. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I want to go home. I said, what happened? He goes, my equipment broke. I was late on the field. I had extra conditioning. I said, well, I guess you'll make sure your equipment's in good shape the night before and that you won't be late for practice ever again. And he just kind of looked at me like, thanks. I said, tell you what. I said, you stay tonight. I said, you go to practice tomorrow. I said, I'll be back tomorrow night with some clothes. I said, if you decide that it's still not for you, I said, we'll pack up your stuff. You can come home. So next day I go up. I'm bringing him his clothes, walk in the cafeteria, walk up. Different kid, completely.
Totally different.
He had a great practice. He had a great everything. The whole day was really good, and he stayed and he played 4 years for you, Cadillac,
Exactly.
And then on to play in college.
That's right.
and on to play in college.
Mhm.
Yes,
See,
so
and that's the kind of parenting skill that helps prepare the kid, not the helicopter parent that take the kid out and try to, put the Band-Aid on everything that takes place. You got to let a young man grow up.
Yep.
You know, and you did that. You allowed that to happen. You modeled that. You experienced it. I know you were compassionate at the time. You really wanted to give him a hug.
Oh, I wanted to take him home. I was like, get in the car. Go ahead.
That's my son. But, you know.
But it was like, no, because if you quit now, anything gets tough, you'll know it's okay to quit. And that's just
exactly
not the way life is.
That's
and
right.
I didn't want to quit her. After football season, I was asked to be by the former president of the Boosters, Wendy Chapman, I was asked to be the vice president. And I accepted, and I went to work raising money for the football booster program. Yeah. Because we did the pregame meals, and we also did the summer camp. We had to feed all the players and the coaches. So I went to work doing all that, and the fundraiser was a success. And we decided that there was a golf tournament to be had, and it had been talked about for a very long time. Right. And I was asked to sit in on a meeting, just sit in on the meeting. Famous last words. The golf tournament had been talked about for a really long time, and there were a lot of naysayers. It was, we've heard this before, it's not going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Well, they didn't know who they were dealing with.
That's right. The dynamic duo.
So, oh my gosh, absolutely. It was just amazing. This tournament was going to make all the difference in the world, and being able to support the things that were needed for the football program, because money and budgets in school budgets are tight for athletics. It's kind of like the leftovers that you get, and you just get what you get. When Cadillac decided that he wanted to go ahead and give it a shot, we got together, we had that meeting in January, and we just took off, and he opened up his contact list and started calling people who could play and get teams together, and then we both hit it to go and get sponsors. And we structured the golf tournament so that the other athletic teams at Indian River, if they participated and met the criteria, we'd get a percentage of what we brought in. And those teams were able to garner $22,000.
That's right.
The teams were basketball, wrestling,
cheerleading,
baseball,
track.
golf, and track.
Yes.
And they were just blown away that they were able to,
to raise
get a
that
piece
kind
of this money that we were able to. And we were blown away the fact that the golf tournament over 6 years raised over $100,000. We never, we hoped.
And you were told that you couldn't do it.
And we were told it wasn't ever going to get off the ground, wouldn't happen. We've been hearing about this for years. It's not going to be done. Well, guess what? Two passionate people got together who we're not going to take no for an answer in any way, shape, or form on a golf tournament or a lot of other things that we were told no, we couldn't do. And we did it, and we made it happen. And people saw the passion, and they not only saw the passion, but they knew when we said we were going to do something, we moved heaven and earth to make it happen.
That's right.
It was not easy. It was a lot of work, but boy, did we turn heads.
Yes. And we did it all for the kids.
And we did it all for the kids.
The bottom line was who benefited. And we want to make sure that our kids benefited from our efforts.
And they did. That first time, the field had those stencils that we were able to buy with the IR logo in the middle and Braves in the end zone. We had one of our players turn around and go, "Miss Liz, it looks like a professional field. We're not rec league anymore." That's what I wanted to hear.
That's right.
So my husband David also joined forces with us and started videoing the football games.
That's right.
And he did that for 11 years. And it was his videography that enabled the coaches to look at game film the next day, be able to tweak their game in the practice, and be able to make the athletes better, the football players better for the next game.
And it was a great tool to allow the athlete to be seen all over the country.
Yes.
Because we send their video all over the country to coaches to see if they saw what we saw in the kid.
Exactly.
And it just expanding them as a recruiting tool. So that was a great.
Totally.
I won't ever forget going up to Virginia Tech. And having him he start videoing some of the things that were going on in the camp. And I looked at it and I was like, oh man, this is good. And so I started another recruiting process. I had the whole family
and that's really how it all
it turned into a family affair.
It did. It all came together for that. And it's been just that way ever since. I mean, so 2004, 2005 is when it started, and it's still going strong. Maybe not as much as we'd like, but whenever we can.
Well, we set a foundation.
Yeah. So what do you remember about connecting with Liz and the work that you all did together?
Wow, I was just amazed at she and Wendy together was just wonderful. You know, they're just a
Great
great team. They're just great teamwork. And I was happy to see the baton passed to Liz because she had already demonstrated her ability. She had demonstrated that her love and commitment for all the kids. And she was a mama to the kids. So, and you look on Facebook and there's activities going on. They still talk about Mama Liz. So, me having all girls at home and all boys at work, I mean, I treat, my motto is they're all my sons. And for the coaches, I wanted them to treat the kids the same way, like every one of them were our sons. And so we did something new. And thanks to Mr. Fryer to be able to have an overnight camp in the gym and set all the parameters, but you needed the parent support, which Miss Allen was a major part of that, and making sure that the kids had meals, and some of the kids had the best eating environment they had, the whole time they were growing up. So that was another great thing that took place. So we're very thankful for Miss Liz and her contribution to
I had
our
the
program.
boosters set the groundwork. I was just able to build on it. And again, Wendy and I were a great team, and that foundation was there so that when I became president, which I was a little reluctant about, it was a little scary, but it was there and I was able to build on it. And it just got stronger every year and I was able to pass it on too. So it was just phenomenal. It was a great time. I look back on that and it's just wonderful memories that are just very dear.
Yeah. What do you guys, how important do you all think that teamwork is with parents and coaches and staff in helping the athletes develop to their fullest potential? Both of you.
Oh my gosh. That's huge.
I think it's a critical piece. As a coach, you go in and you have the vehicle of the football. The kids are interested in playing football, and some coaching staff, they make that the priority. On our coaching staff, it was different. We made the education part the priority. They're coaching the kids from the ground up. We wanted to prepare them to be successful for a lifetime. So we had tutoring and things, study hall before school, and that was when other teams were practicing. So some parents, some leadership people didn't like those kinds of things. They wanted to get back to the traditional, but we invested in the kid from the ground up. And when you see parents like Miss Liz and David and how they raised Brandon, they brought a kid with a home work ethic. So we didn't have to break down some of the dynamics, and you wanted to make sure that, we're getting kids from all over. And some of the kids were coming from so-called broken homes, single parent homes and no parent homes. And so when you blend those all together, you need a family member like Miss Allen and David, who became mom and pops.
To everyone.
And I was caddy daddy, and the rest of the rest of the staff were, the leadership team. So,
and they really were all of my sons too. I mean, I was there because of my son, but because of him, they all became my sons. And wanting to make sure that they had a good environment to be able to practice in, a clean locker room, a stadium that they were proud to step out on the field and to have other people see.
Healthy meals.
Healthy meals, yes, for being able to sustain the energy that they needed to be on the field for 4 quarters.
Right.
And it's the academics, it's the sports and life just all together. It's a very cohesive thing if you can get it all together, because sports builds confidence in kids. Right. They may not be great in the classroom, but if they can be great on the football field or athletic field in any way, shape, or form, that can transfer into the classroom as well.
Absolutely. And sometimes that's what motivates them to do well in school, because they have to have, a 2.0 rule?
Yes, absolutely. Exactly. And Cadillac was groundbreaking in having a study hall. That was not heard of. Right. And that 30 minutes of study hall with Miss Finley as the teacher, and she was good. Let me tell you what, those boys got away with nothing. Right. But they had to do their homework, and they were expected to be doing homework, and she made sure of that. But they had progress reports they had to turn in every week that were signed off by their teachers and the courses that they were taking. And then at the end of the year, you had your academic awards at the end of the year banquet. And parents will tell you of the players that went through the program, those were the best grades those kids ever got was during football season.
I always thought that was amazing because they spent so much time practicing and they would get home so late, but their grades were always the best during that busiest time of their lives than after football season or before.
Absolutely. And that was because of the study hall. To this day, I would tell you, any football program in the high school, if you are looking to really make sure that the academics are on track, do a 30-minute study hall, fit it in somehow, some way, because you do practice them until late at night. They get home, they're tired, they're hungry. By the time they get all that done, it's kind of, your brain cells start to go because you're tired.
Right.
And if you can help them knock out the hardest homework that they've got in that 30 minutes before they get on the field, it's going to make a huge difference for them. And it did for Brandon.
Excellent.
It was one of the greatest investments we could make. And it was an example of love. I mean, you got to demonstrate the love for the kids, and you have to do something that's extraordinary. And while it's time consuming and all of that, at the same time, let's look at the rewards. We always looked at we wanted championships and we wanted scholarships and championships in that order. Because everyone can be a professional at something.
Right.
That's a gift that everyone has. So education is a major tool.
Number one.
And
I agree with you that shows love, even if the players don't always recognize it at the time.
They don't. There are 1,500 high schools in the United States that dwindle down into 300 colleges and universities that have football programs.
Right.
So moms and dads, your kid may be really good in high school, but if he wants to go or she wants to go to the college level with football, they better really be on their game because that 1,500 becomes 300, and it's not all D1 and D2, and it's not all scholarships.
That's right.
And if they have their sights set on the NFL, that dwindles down into
1%.
like the odds are ridiculous.
Right.
So not that it can't happen. Brandon has coached, and Cadillac has coached several NFL players. But the reality is it's 1,500 high schools to 300 colleges to the odds of an NFL career. And he wasn't a straight A student. Let me tell you, he did get an advanced diploma. Did not get an advanced diploma. I mean, he got an advanced diploma in high school, but he was a high C average student. Well, he also found out that if you want to play at the next level at the colleges he wanted to go to, you had to have a B average.
That's right, the qualification.
So it was, okay,
so what do you
I'm
do
not going to
now?
get to play at the college I want to, but he still played college ball, and he played 4 years, and he received a sportsmanship award, which was just phenomenal by the USA conference that their college was in. And he also ended up winning another award that was in the memory of a former player who died. But it was just something that he really learned to dig in, and that's also something that we taught him at home too. Nothing's going to be handed to you in life. You work for everything you're going to get.
That's right.
If you end up with a windfall or some wonderful thing happening to you, that's great. But the bottom line is that's not the way it starts out. So you have to work, and you work hard, and if you do, you'll reap the benefits.
And how would you say football kind of led him on the path that he took through college and the rest of his career so far?
That's easy. Football was everything to him.
Yes,
he got the bug. Now, he also played baseball, and he also played basketball.
Yeah.
And he was actually playing baseball for Indian River at the same time he was doing football. And he made the choice in his sophomore year that he was going to focus on football and not baseball. But it taught him so much. It taught him about being prepared and being part of a team. You can't play football by yourself.
Right.
You're not going to win.
And discipline.
And there's a lot of discipline and learning plays.
Right.
So you still have to be smart. I mean, you say, oh, I don't have to have straight A's and this and that. Well, guess what? At the college level, you have a playbook to learn.
That's right.
And nobody's going to feed it to you.
Right.
You have to learn the plays. You have to be able to step into the role that you're supposed to be playing and the position you're playing and be good at it. And because your teammates are counting on you. And that's the other thing. I think Brandon would tell you that you learn to count on each other. You would have expectations of each other as a team, and that everybody's going to execute the way they're supposed to. And that carries over into the workforce.
That's right. And so there's a position puzzle that goes on. Whatever position that you're playing, you need to know where everyone around you, what they're doing, so you can also help in the success process of it. And if one of you break down, then you need to know where the breakdown is so you can fix it.
Yep.
So, and it's the same thing with life principles. I mean, you're not in life by yourself. No man is an island to himself.
Right.
You have others around you, and it's going to be people around you. You need to learn how to work with everyone to accomplish the team goal.
Exactly.
And so we put the team before individual goals, and that's what Brandon did a great job of.
Actually, Michael Jordan said, "Talent will win games, but it's teamwork and intelligence that wins championships."
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And you all did that.
We did. We went.
we did.
We got really, really close his senior year. And one of the things about resilience and teamwork and confidence and not not quitting before not quitting because everybody doesn't think you can do it is really important. And their senior year that Brandon was playing football in 2007, they were 6-4 over on the season. They did make it to the regional playoffs, and they were facing Lake Taylor, who we lost to at the beginning of the year. We were not expected to win. Lake Taylor probably thought, easy. Well, guess what? We won.
That's right.
And we blew everybody out of the water. Where did Indian River come from? And how did they do this? Well, the best part about that was that the players realized they can win. And they can win against a formidable team like Lake Taylor. And they were just psyched. They got into that locker room. The seniors on that team, they led the kids in the workouts the next day. And if anybody was slacking off, they would call them out because we needed everybody to work in their position. And they needed to be strong, and we needed to come out strong. Well, guess who we faced next? Green Run. Weren't supposed to win against Green Run because Lake Taylor was a fluke.
That's right.
It just wasn't supposed to happen. Well, we beat Green Run. And I'll never forget because we were supposed to go and see my parents the day after Thanksgiving. Or for Thanksgiving, I'm sorry, and they live in Jersey. And the day after was the game that we were going to play for the championship against Phoebus.
That's right.
And I called my mom from the car and I said, "We're not coming for Thanksgiving." And I was all excited. She's like, "That's not a
Why
good
are you
thing."
so happy about it?
I go, "Yes, it is." I said, "Because we beat Green Run and we're going to the regional finals."
That's right.
So we didn't beat Phoebus, but those boys on that team came in second in the region on a 6-4 overall.
That's right.
That nobody thought they'd even get that far. And it was their confidence, the resilience, and not giving up that took them forward. And I would guarantee you, Cadillac, if you asked any of the boys on the team, if that played any part in their life going forward, not to give up, to keep on going, to work through adversity and everything, I would say that they would hands down say that helped them.
Right. You, as my grandfather used to say, you might give out, but you don't give up.
Exactly.
And that's what we we talked about, and they embraced those things. And I still think that was a close game.
It was.
And I remember my quarterback telling me, "Coach, I can't feel my hands. It was cold." He's like, "I just can't feel my hands."
Wasn't that Reggie?
That was Reggie.
Yeah.
He said, "Coach, I can't feel my hands," and he was he was playing very well. And but sometimes what it does, and I would tell the kids all the time, this game is about elements too. You start the season, it's very hot, and you try to survive that, and you want to get to the point where you can see your breath at midair, and not many other people playing, so everybody's coming to watch you to see you play.
Yep.
And they embraced that, and here we were, regional finals,
runner up.
Yeah.
And I would say good coaching and good teamwork
absolutely
have a lot to do with it.
Absolutely.
Probably
was,
everything
believing,
to do with it.
Believing that not and getting better every day.
Yep. The
They
goal
had
is
the
always to be better
support.
than the day before.
That's right.
Yeah.
They had a lot of parent support. I mean, we were filling the stands and
Oh,
stuff,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that would be one thing I would tell parents too. If you have a student athlete, you may not be able to make it to every game, but ask them about their practice. Ask them about their games.
Right.
Go to a game.
Right.
Find a game that works with your schedule. I know
Right.
there are a lot of single parents out there. I know there are a lot of kids that
Right.
grandparents and aunts and uncles are raising,
Right.
or they're in foster care or whatever.
Right.
Just go out and support. Being in the stands, Brandon will tell you to this day, Mom, being in the stands meant so much to me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just in high school. I went to every one of his college games, home
Right.
and away,
Right.
to support him, because it's not for a long time.
Right.
High school's 4 years. That's it.
It goes fast.
It's
Yeah.
10 games,
yeah.
4 years.
Yeah.
That's it. And then if they get to go on to college and play, then it's another, however many weeks the college season
Right.
is. And it's only 4 years, and it goes so fast, but it means so much. And hopefully they do that with their kids. So you
Right.
kind of pay it forward.
Right.
And that's what Brandon's doing now,
And
right?
yes, Brandon is doing it now.
Let's say he did go to Averett University where he
did.
played college ball,
Yep.
and now he's coaching
He
football.
is. He got a BS degree in business administration with a minor in coaching
That's right.
as his undergrad, and then went back and got a master's degree in special education. So he is teaching special education at the high school level. He's at Tallwood right now. He'd been in the Chesapeake school system for 11 years or 13 years. Might have been 13 years, but just recently moved over to Virginia Beach to Tallwood, and he is the offensive coordinator for the Lions,
Right.
which is his first year doing that. But he has an 11-year-old son, and his son has decided that he is going to try out for middle school football.
That's right.
So we are full circle here. But Brandon
Let's go,
has
Parker.
a passion for it. He just has a passion for it, and he takes a lot of everything that he learned, not only from academics and his time in college and everything, getting his degrees, but also from the football field. He brings it just takes so much. It takes planning, it takes detail,
Right.
it takes passion,
Right.
it takes encouragement to get your students both in the classroom and on the field to embrace what you're trying to get them to do and to be successful.
Right.
And he's very passionate about it, and he kids with the kids, but he's very disciplined, and
Right.
he doesn't put up with anything. Rules are rules. You're going to learn. You're going to abide by the rules, and if you don't, there are consequences. And it's so important because unfortunately, a lot of times kids don't think the rules apply to them
Right.
because it hasn't been enforced, and they're going to find out the hard way that rules are rules. And
It
when
is.
you're an adult, the consequences are a lot greater.
Right. And so when the goalpost is moved over and over when you're growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and the student athlete will find that on the football field, it's it's a different family dynamics.
Yep.
And we can't move the goalposts. The lines are the lines. You have someone that's officiating it,
Yep.
and so you want to make sure that you get your behavior under control during the game. But it's the practices. It's the
Absolutely.
best practices, and so you get to practice those things at home, and then you bring them to the football field, and then the larger audience get to see you perform.
Right.
When things don't go well, how do you respond? How do you react?
Right.
Yep.
And you always know you don't want them just to be good football players. You also want them to be good people.
Yes.
To grow up to be successful in their careers, to be good husbands, good
Right.
fathers.
Good citizens.
Good citizens.
Yeah.
And those things last a lifetime. Those
Absolutely.
lessons. Well, I knew this conversation was going to go fast. And we'd have so much to talk about. We're going to have to bring you back on the show with Brandon
Oh, I'd love
to
that.
share some more tips.
And he would
But
too.
this- Yes, but
You-
do either of you have maybe one last thing you'd like to share with parents about? I mean, you've given some great nuggets already, but do you have any kind of last things you want to share?
I think as a parent, you want to be present
Mm-hmm.
and fully embrace what your child is getting into, and also don't be overzealous about that your kid is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, don't be afraid to allow them to compete and let their talents speak and their behavior speak. And as I stated before, and Liz stated before, you have to make sure that their behavior is tied to how much playing time they're going to get. That's how we had it at arranged at Indian Rivers. With the
All of your
academics,
schools, yeah.
all the schools. If your academics are not what they should be, then you could sit out a game, or you could be kicked out for 2 games, depending on your behavior. And I would say that's one of the big keys of success, to be able, because their environment's always going to change, but character never has to change.
And
When you-
self-control.
and self-control and self-discipline
Yep.
and respect, self-respect, as well as respecting other people.
Mhm.
That would be the key ingredients that I would give to all parents.
You had a great saying at Indian River, and you probably have said it for a long time, even before Indian River, but it was, don't embarrass your parents, don't embarrass your teachers, don't embarrass your fellow teammates, and don't embarrass your school. And that, I mean, to this day, now we're
Right.
talking a long
A
while
long time
ago,
ago.
it still resonates with
That's
me.
exactly right.
and I wasn't a player.
Exactly, exactly. So if you can get those things right,
it
you're
all
going to be
falls into
successful.
place.
Yeah.
It really
I don't
does.
care what avenue or what profession you go into.
Yep.
You know, if you're not an embarrassment to yourself, you're not an embarrassment to your family, you're not embarrassed to the team that you work with,
Yep.
then you're going to be successful.
Absolutely. And parents, just be involved. Be involved. You know, they can turn 16, 17, and 18. They may think they're adults, but they're not adults.
They don't pay any bills. They don't take care.
Yeah,
No.
and they need guidance.
Right.
They may act like they're not listening to you. They
Right.
may act like they don't care if you're in the stands or not, or if you ask them about what's going on, or they're acting. Believe me, it matters. It really does. It means someone else other than me is worrying about what I'm doing or how things are going, and that can also keep them on track. If you're going to ask questions.
Accountability,
yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And those questions can really mean the difference between a kid that thinks twice about doing something he knows they shouldn't do, or walking away from an environment that they're not comfortable with, and having the confidence and the self-respect to be able to remove themselves from a situation. And that carries through all the way into adulthood.
That's right.
You know, you were talking about being present, and you were talking earlier about sometimes you have single moms or you have parents that are working 2 or 3 jobs, and they may not be able to go to all the games. That's true.
Yep.
But try to get to the games that you can, and send your cousin, your brother,
Yes.
Yeah.
you know, other the community loves to support young people, especially young people that are trying hard to do well, and putting their effort behind something positive.
And especially if they're from an environment that just isn't your standard, all-American home, whatever that is anymore. But it is important that somebody else cares, and that makes a huge, huge difference. I had a player one time. I used to clean the locker room as one of the things that I did, because I wanted a nice, clean environment for the players and for my son. And I had a player who was putting their shoes on, getting ready to go out, and I walked in, and I started doing my thing, and he goes, "Ms. Allen, I got to ask you a question." I said, "Okay, TC, what's your question?" He goes, "Why do you do this?" I said, "Because I want you guys to have a clean environment. I want you guys to know that you're cared about, and I appreciate that you go out on that practice field every day and play those games on Friday night." And I said, "And one day, TC, I hope you'll pay it forward with your kid." And I said, "And I hope all the players will remember that crazy lady who was cleaning the locker room." And you would do that. You would take that step and just pay it forward.
Awesome. Well, I think that's
I
a good
think.
final thought.
Thank you, Miss Liz, for being on our show today.
Thank you for asking me. As you can tell, I'm still passionate
about it.
Yeah,
you're still passionate about it, and it's a great nuggets. And parents want to raise their children right and get a recipe to get it done right. It was surely said and done today, so certainly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Liz.
Thank you. It's wonderful.
It's great to have you, Liz. Thank you so much for coming on. Your conversation today reminded me about something that Lou Holtz once said, the great football coach of all time. He said that you're never a failure unless you stop trying.
I love that quote. That's a great quote, and one that we have to live by. And
right, not just on the field,
not just,
but in the classroom.
In the classroom. Well, it's you got to make your character a lifestyle. It's got to be a lifestyle. So once you embrace those things, then everything else falls into place.
Right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us on this edition of Coaching with Cadillac and Bonita. I can't imagine how you couldn't have gotten some great nuggets from this conversation, but I sure did, and I'm not an athlete. But thank you all so much for sharing your experiences and your tips and paying it forward.